This time I recognize Mrs. Johnson for her opening statement.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and good morning. We are pleased to have the second hearing with Dr. Holdren to the committee. As you know, every year we invite the Director of the Office of Science and Technology Policy to appear before the committee to help us understand, and not just that this year's budget, but others as well. We live in an increasingly complex world, and the challenges we face will be both impacted by and hopefully alleviated by science and technology. As Americans, we should celebrate the fact that a highly respected scientist, such as Dr. Holdren, has the ear of the President and is truly part of his inner circle of advisors on matters of science and technology. We in Congress also can benefit from good advice on matters of science and technology policy, and I'm looking forward to the testimony today. The truth is that the OSTP has been asked to do a lot by both Congress and the President. In addition to our more visible initiatives, I know that you have to carry out necessary interagency coordination, a job that probably goes underappreciated and undervalued by all of us. The work of OSTP staff helps to minimize unnecessary duplication in research and development programs across the government and ensure that significant research gaps are addressed. Dr. Holdren, you have been asked to testify about the structure, function, and funding of your office, as well as the two hats you wear as both science advisor to the President and director of the Office of Science and Technology Policy. You face many challenges, some of which you inherited, such as the NOAA satellite program, and others that are more recent, such as the arm twisting you probably had to do to get agencies to complete their scientific integrity policies. I think we forget sometimes that your actual authority is limited and that much of what you accomplish is through your leadership, persuasion, and persistence. As you know, I care deeply about the need to ensure that we remain competitive in a challenging world economy, as well as improve the quality of life of all of our citizens. Research and innovation are essential ingredients of any effort to meet these two goals, as is STEM education. You have a number of initiatives underway related to STEM education, and I would like to hear how those are faring and any issues that you are facing. With respect to research and innovation, I would like to hear about your efforts to promote innovation and to move new technologies toward commercialization. I know that the administration has a number of initiatives underway in that regard, such as the Startup America initiative, and I'd like to get your assessment on how well these initiatives are working and what additional steps that may be needed. And finally, in addition to hearing about your key priorities and goals for your office, I'd like to hear what you might need from Congress, whether it's related to a general function of your office or to a specific goal or task. You have an important responsibility, and we want you to succeed. Dr. Holdren, I look forward to your testimony, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Ms. Johnson from Texas for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Holdren, I know that in terms of staffing, the OSTP experiences a high turnover both during the transition in leadership and throughout any given administration because of your heavy reliance on detailees from the agencies. But your day-to-day coordination duties carry on from one year to another and from one administration to another. So how many OSTP staff tend to carry over from the administration to the next? Or at least, What's your experience in it?
Well, of course, there is continuing turnover in these positions. When I took over the office upon my confirmation by the Senate in March of 2009, there were 40-some people who had stayed from the previous administration. The turnover in that group proceeded over the intervening 3 years, and they're now probably more like 10 or 12 who have carried over from the previous administration. The continuity is obtained in a lot of ways. Partly is the folks who are carried over, partly is the really extraordinary performance of OSTP directors from one administration to another in handing over to their successor an extraordinary degree of documentation about the activities and responsibilities of the office. I got a tremendous amount of valuable information from my predecessor, the late John Marburger, who served in this capacity in the Bush administration, who in turn got a tremendous amount from his predecessors in the Clinton administration. There's also a continuity that comes from people coming in and out. That is, I was in and out of OSTP throughout the Clinton administration in my role as a member of the President's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology. So I actually knew quite a bit about what goes on in OSTP before I ever got the job. There are other folks who've been in OSTP before and are now back again, but weren't carried over from the previous administration. So there's a lot of ways we deal with continuity, but I think we're doing well.
The benefits, I know there are benefits and limitations of this current model, but I think what it does emphasize is that outcomes are not necessarily partisan. They're strictly based upon.
Yes, I mean, we think of science and technology policy as a domain that has largely been bipartisan over the years, and I think it continues to be. There is wide bipartisan support for at least most of what we do, and we don't think of ourselves as a partisan office.
Does your budget adequately support the mix of staff and that you think might be best, or do you get too much?
Well, of course, we took a 32% budget cut for fiscal year 2012, and that caused a lot of stress, a lot of challenges to manage OSTP's wide range of responsibilities with a budget cut of that magnitude. We are pleased that the appropriators, both in the House and in the Senate, have this year voted out the President's full request of $5.85 million as opposed to the $4.5 we got in 2012. And we hope that ends up, obviously, in the final appropriations bill. It would put us in a much better position to cover the range of responsibilities we have. We really do a lot on a shoestring, and we do it in part, as your question implies, with the help of a lot of detailees who come from the science-rich agencies. They come from NSF, NOAA, NASA, DOE, DOD, NIH, and they bring insights about those domains, and they enable us to cover the broad terrain in a way that we would not be able to cover if we had to do it all on our own budget.
Mm-hmm. Now, one last quick question. The current statute limits the office to 4 associate directors and makes them subject to Senate confirmation. And right now, you're taking advantage of all 4 slots, but unfortunately are without any Senate-confirmed directors. Do you have any thoughts either on the number of directors or the requirement for Senate confirmation?
Well, I think 4 Senate-confirmed associate directors corresponding to the 4 divisions, science, technology, environment and energy, and national security and international affairs, is the right number. We started out, after some delays in confirmation, having 3 of the 4 Senate-confirmed. The 4th, the President's nominee for national security and international affairs, was never confirmed, got an interim appointment, but subsequently that expired, and so he's left. But in the meantime, the Senate-confirmed Associate Director for Technology, Anish Chopra, has left just a few months ago. The Senate confirmed Associate Director for Environment and Energy, Sherry Abbott, left a little longer ago. And the Senate confirmed Associate Director for Science, Dr. Carl Wyman, Nobel laureate in physics, left just a couple of weeks ago for personal reasons, health reasons, really. And so we're currently in a position very late in the term when the prospects of getting additional nominees through the Senate are rather poor. We have one nominee, the President's nominee for Associate Director for National Security and International Affairs, Dr. Pat Falcone, has had her hearing, and we hope she will be confirmed. But the other divisions are currently under strong leadership, but leadership that I've delegated the responsibilities to on an interim basis. And I think it is, while we're working on the problem of finding people who would be Senate confirmed for those slots, I'm not sure how many of those we will be able to get confirmed before the election.
That's even more of a challenge for your mission. Thank you very much. My time has expired.